Hello everyone, my name is Akash Paul. You are watching TOI Auto and these are the new Ather 450S, the latest offering from Ather, and it is also their most affordable option in India right now. Earlier they had the 450 but then they discontinued it, which meant that 450X was the only option that you had. But now Ather is giving you a more affordable option if your daily running is not a lot. It is also kind of a response to the increasing electric vehicle prices post the revision in the FAME 2 subsidy scheme. But today, what we will focus on are the differences compared to the 450X and if the price and the features make sense for you or not. While today we are riding the 450S, I would also like to tell you that there is a new 450X coming with the same battery pack as this one. It has all the same features, the same motor as the regular 450X, but only the battery is smaller, which means that it is also a little more affordable compared to the full-blown 450X, which will come out sometime in October and the prices will be revealed then. We have the prices for the 450S and the 450X with the smaller battery pack. So let's quickly take a look at what this scooter offers and what it forgoes in comparison to the 450X. So first let's start off with the design, and there actually isn't much to talk about because the design is the same, the dimensions are the same. You do get the 450S badge instead of the X, which makes sense, and you have fewer color options. So while the full-blown 450X gets 6 color options, this one just gets 4, 2 of which are standing right here, the black and the green, and you also have a grey and a white option. Also, the tire size is different, the rear tire size. The front is the same 90 by 90, but at the rear, the 450S opts for a 90 by 90 instead of a 100 by 80, which can be seen on the 450X. Another small change comes in the weight, obviously because the battery contributes to the majority of the weight in an electric vehicle. And because this has a smaller 2.9 kilowatt hour battery, it also means it's about 3.5 kilos lighter than the 450X. This one tips the scales at 108 kilograms. So if you did like the 450 design already, then this one will also look pleasing to you. You have the same LED headlamp at the front, the nice looking tail lamp at the back, and the compact proportions while still being pretty much practical. So the riding position and everything else remains the same. So the next big change can be seen here in the instrument cluster. It's the same 7-inch size, but it's no longer touch enabled. Instead, what you have to do is use a joystick on the left side of the handlebar to toggle between the various options and go through the different settings and change them as well. Your ride mode can be changed using a toggle right here, and what they've done is included a new button which can easily engage the reverse mode at the press of just one button. You don't have to go through any setting or anything like that. But coming back to the display, well, you get a lot of settings, including the fact that you now have coasting region, which means that while you are riding, if you let go of the accelerator, the scooter will start regenerating battery. And if I switch it on, you can also see these wings right here, which are also used to show the direction of the motion. So if you're moving forward, these will move outwards, but if you're reversing, then these come towards the inside. And even while you're using regen, you will see the animation of the indicators going towards the inside, which is good. Now the display itself has a high amount of contrast. It's basically black with these colored digits on it, and it looks good. What Ather says is that they've worked on the display to provide 18 segments instead of 14, which means that the text looks a bit more lifelike. It's not as robotic, and it's not something you will notice right away, but altogether I would say that this does look like a good display considering that it's not a touch enabled one, and you have all the basic features that you would want. Yes, it's a step down from the 450X drastically, but it does get the job done. Even under sunlight, you can easily view what is on the display, so that way it gets good marks. Obviously you have 3 ride modes, which you can easily toggle from here, and over here you will get your navigation commands as well. So you don't get the full Google map, but it does show you navigation in a turn-by-turn type of manner. What you can also do is, if you get directions on WhatsApp like this, you can open them in your Google Maps and then share the directions and then choose the Ather app from here, and then it will open up the map on the app, which means that you will be able to access navigation on the scooter as well. So you can send it to scooter and the location now has been sent to the scooter. So you can see that you have the navigation prompt now right here. So this is a very nice and handy feature which you can use. Now, one more difference between the 450S and the X, which you might not see straight away, is in terms of the hardware inside, and that in terms of processing, I mean. Instead of 16 gigs of storage, you get 8, which is half, and even in terms of RAM, instead of 2 GB, you get just 1 GB. So right now, we can't see any big difference. Obviously, this does not have to contend with the touchscreen, so it does not require that much hardware. The SoC, the processor, remains the same as the 450X, so that's why the operation should be smooth and it should not cause any trouble as such. Now let's talk about the actual riding experience of the 450S. Like I mentioned, it has a smaller battery, a 2.9 kilowatt R1, but it also has a slightly detuned motor. So instead of a 6.4 kilowatt motor, you get a 5.4 kilowatt motor, which produces 22 Newton meters of torque, which is about 4 Newton meters less than the 450X. Now, out on the road, you do feel a difference between this and the 450X, but still this is a very quick scooter. Ather is kind of positioning it against 125cc offerings, and while it does compete really well, the top speed is the same as the 450X and it's capped at 90 kilometers an hour. You do not get the warp mode in this, but you do get eco, ride and sport mode, which again do work well, and they give you different acceleration and different speeds. Also, what Ather has done is that they've retuned the throttle mapping, which means that the response is a bit more gentle, although overall you get the same kind of response if you were to completely pin the throttle. But when you're riding normally and trying to accelerate a little, and then in city traffic, you know, that jerkiness can become a little annoying if you ride for long distances. Not with the 450S, it feels a bit more gentle, which is a nice addition. Yes, it has taken some of the edge off the scooter, so if you liked that full-on performance, then this is a bit more gentle, but again, it's not a very big difference. If you've never ridden a 450X, you probably might not even notice it a lot. What has also changed is the range. Now, this one has a claimed range of 115 kilometers, but Ather says that you can get about 90 kilometers in real-world conditions, which will go up and down depending on how you ride. What has helped is that now there is the coasting region option, which means that you not only get region when you press the brakes, but even while you're coasting. So that means, let's say you're going at 60 or 50 and then you let go of the accelerator, you've not pressed the brakes, the engine will still put back some energy into the battery pack, and it will also help in increasing the range of this scooter. Now, we've not ridden it for very long, so I can't really comment on the range that we got right now, but stay tuned for that, as we will try to get our hands on the scooter later on and tell you about the actual range when we have a bit more time with this vehicle. The claimed acceleration time has also gone down with the detuned motor from 3.3 seconds to 3.9 seconds. This is 0 to 40 kmph, but this is also very quick when you go in a straight line. And the only problem is that because this is so thin, so nimble and agile, it's great around corners, but if you're on the highway and you are gunning it, the crosswinds may make it a little unstable. That's nothing new, but that is something you should keep in mind if you've never again ridden a 450X. Otherwise, I had no problem. In fact, I really liked the suspension tuning on this. It does feel a little more comfortable on city roads, and when you are going over some bad patches, this does feel a bit more comfortable. And I think Ather has got a good balance between performance and comfort. So that way I think you would really appreciate it. The brakes are also really nice. The rear brake also has a lot of bite, which is not the case in most vehicles. You get CBS with this, no ABS, but from what we've been told, Ather is trying to get ABS in the future updates of the 450 scooters. This might or might not get it, but the others might get it. For now, you get CBS, which I think is also rather good. So it looks like the 450S is another Ather offering which rides well, which looks good, and is definitely fun to ride as well. And with the lower price, I think it'll be more accessible to a lot of people, especially considering that the prices of EVs has gone up. But what I think is that the biggest competition for the 450S is the 450X itself, because the 450X with the smaller 2.9 kilowatt hour battery is about 8,000 rupees more than this one. And by paying that 8,000 rupees extra, you get a motor which is slightly more powerful. Yes, it'll top out at the same speed, but you get a bit more fun while riding it. You also get the super fun warp mode in that scooter, a slightly wider tire, and also a touchscreen if you fancy it. So I think with just a difference of 8,000, maybe Ather could have priced this a little lower considering all the reductions that have been made, but they're completely okay with the two products being this close. And I guess whether you buy the 450S or the 450X, the money is going to Ather, so they win in any case. And like I said, if you want a budget offering, yes, this could make sense, but I would say that you could also look at the 450X with the smaller battery pack. So those were all of my thoughts after riding the 450S. You let us know if you would pick the 450S or the X. I would love to know your thoughts in the comments down below. If you like this video and like the information that was provided, then make sure to hit like, comment down below, like I said, if you have any questions or any doubts, and make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that bell icon so that you are notified every time we put a new upload. This is Akash Paul signing off for now. Bye bye.